ladies and gentlemen, the introduction of the champion.
Is that a lady in your tights or a stairway to heaven? You must be tired running around my mind all night. How about an all-expensive night out with the pucker one? You're paying her for. What? No? What, are you lesbian or something? Sit down. I wrote a song about a snake like you. It goes a little bit like this.
From Essex, England, he also weighs in tonight at 220 pounds. This is the current One Pro Wrestling Openweight Champion, the Pucker One, Darren Burridge!
This was not meant to be an Openweight title match, Dale Mills. Oh. Yeah. Brilliant. I think Burridge wants you to hold his jacket, buddy. He's really starting to get on my tits, Dale Mills. On a one-man campaign to ruin my hair. I think your barber did that. It's a 10% deduction of your wages. Loves you, mate. He loves you. Yeah, I've got a lot of love for him as well. After he stole them. I think he wants you to hold his bottoms as well. Brilliant. Just, yeah, all hooked up. You have them. I don't want them anywhere near me. Get rid of this. Get someone over to pick it up. Well, this is it, Adam. 45 minutes Ironman match. The 1PW Openweight title is on the line. In a match I made at Invincible.
After you made the match, Nigel McGuinness became the Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, and someone else won another belt, but let's not talk about that.
As we get this matchup underway, 45 minutes. Whoever gets the most pinfall, submission, decisions.
3/4 of an hour.
It's really going to test the mettle of both of these men.
There are several ways you can play this. You can go at full steam to begin with, attempt to establish an early lead, gain 2 or 3 successive quick pinfalls, or work very, very slowly. But in this environment, it's very different to the 2 out of 3 falls that we had at Invincible. You can almost afford to make a mistake or two.
Yeah, it's... The last match these two have had was incredible.
I'll admit, despite the fact I don't have a lot of time for Mr. Burridge, it's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life.
And it was an incredible feeling to be able to sit here and call such an amazing matchup, and this one has every chance of topping that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Earlier on today, I had a chance to sit down with Darren Burridge, have a few words with him, catch up, see what he'd been doing. He's been in Thailand for the past month, and he's been out there, he's been collecting his thoughts, getting his head together. He told me he was out there learning some breathing techniques. He was focusing himself on this matchup. He's been out there meditating, getting himself ready for Nigel McGuinness, 45 minutes. Burridge is taking this matchup seriously, possibly more serious than any other matchup. Since he's won the openweight belt, he has taken things to another level. He's become more focused. He's become more at one with himself, with how his body works. He wants to be the very best he can here in 1PW.
The evolution of Darren Burridge has been, nothing short of incredible. The Darren Burridge that actually scored the victory over Nigel McGuinness just over a year ago at the Fight Club show is a very different Darren Burridge to the one that you see now. So, uninvincible when the match was announced, he obviously felt that he had something to prove coming off a loss.
Yeah, that's correct.
To Nigel McGuinness. But now it's twofold. It's not only that, it's also that the Openweight title is now on the line.
And Burridge, obvious momentum, winning the Openweight belt.
Yeah, well, you say that, but last Saturday Nigel McGuinness became the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. So he has momentum of his own.
Nice series of arm and neck base manoeuvres there. A bit of a one-upmanship to begin with early on. Also, well, let's not forget Darren Burridge taking on one part of the Iron Lions, James Ty, down in Orpington.
Yes.
Victorious.
Yes, he was.
In a heated matchup in IPW. Where some say IPW, they came, they saw, and they conquered for that one night.
Yes, well, I mean, I wasn't in attendance due to the fact that the previous night Darren Burridge decided to slap me so hard he actually knocked out one of my teeth.
Small mercies and all that.
Yeah, okay, fine. Thankfully, I've had that put in again now.
Burridge with the hammerlock. Nigel reaching around, trying to get him over in a headlock type position, roll him over. If he does, Burridge's shoulders could be on the canvas. Burridge reaching up, torquing the shoulder and the elbow and the wrist.
Both men are about pride. Nigel McGuinness, not a man who likes to submit. Same can be said for Darren Burridge, but again, it's the psychology, it's the length of the match, it's whether or not you want to risk injury to a body part. If you're in trouble, tap out. The hold is released. Both men are returned back to their feet, and the match is restarted. Okay, you're down a fall, but at least you haven't got a broken bone.
McGuinness struggling to get out the head scissors. He crabbed up. Now looking for the handstand. Burridge slapping the legs, trying to add a bit more pressure to the neck. McGuinness has got incredible neck strength.
Must be noted that in the 2 out of 3 falls contest, Darren Burridge showed a level of resiliency that I've not seen in many. It's taking an inhuman amount of lariats.
5 minutes.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Adam. There was an unreal amount of punishment dealt out by Nigel McGuinness via the lariats.
The bruising on Darren Burridge's body was so evident 2 weeks later.
And you've got to figure that both Burridge and McGuinness will be thinking about the lariats, but for two different reasons, 2 different ways. Burridge will be thinking of a way to maybe avoid so much punishment via the lariats. McGuinness will be thinking of ways to deliver, and we know Nigel McGuinness can deliver that lariat in 156 different ways.
And at so many different speeds. He can nail you with a lariat from only half a foot away, and it's more effective than some wrestlers with a running lariat.
Well, again, Burridge centering on the arm.
Yes.
Sound strategy if he needs to avoid that. Well, he does need to avoid the lariat. If he works on the arm, weakens the arm.
Yep.
If McGuinness does land a lariat or 12, the impact of him is going to lessen every time if the arm is already injured.
It also affects the impact of the Tower of London as well.
Quick roll up.
Once again going back into the arms, scissored it there with the legs.
Yes, excellent manoeuvre.
Smart wrestling.
I think McGuinness realises that Burridge is working over the arm, the body pod. Again, not necessarily to get a pinfall or a submission out of it, but just to weaken it enough.
Yeah, but look at the difference here. Darren looks a little bit flustered. Nigel, deep breathing, playing his cool. This is exactly what Nigel wants. He wants Darren to become frustrated, make a mistake, leave an opening.
Well, that's where the trip to Thailand will probably come in. He's been concentrating, new breathing techniques, more meditation, like I say, to focus himself on getting something done. Burridge will need to dig deep, find those resources, find that deep meditation that he's been doing, and bring it here tonight in the ring.
You can see he's great behind the legs.
If he hooks there, the under the chin.
He's also got a hammerlock in.
And a series of stiff forearms to the back. I think he's trying to loosen up the other arm.
Yeah.
Maybe make Burridge reach back so he can hook. So he can hook his hand under his neck, chin area, just to wrench back in a double whammy of a hammerlock and a camel clutch.
Oh, he tried to fit.
Burridge almost put himself in trouble there. Tried to roll forward out of the hammerlock. Nigel just put the brakes on.
Very smart shift in pressure. Single leg Boston Crab. Nigel quickly escaping to the ropes. Is the knee troubling Nigel? That was an incredibly quick escape.
I'd see there, McGuinness just checking on his wrist, just favouring it a little bit. Maybe the damage has been started on that arm wrist region. Nice single leg takedown. Grapevine in the legs and going for a top wrist lock.
She's got. Moves down the body now, uses the legs. Cinches in a little bit more pressure as he puts it behind the knee, making it very hard for Nigel to escape with his arms, but leaving his legs open.
McGuinness counters with a beautiful leg scissors of his own. Burridge perhaps needs to roll off of his back because he's almost in a pinning combination situation there. Shoulders are almost down. From this position, McGuinness could easily float over and try and get a sneaky pinfall.
Palm strikes there from Burridge into the shoulder, trying to get him to release the pressure, which he has. Going for a headstand of his own, possibly. No.
Into the ball and out.
We may have seen the lady in the lake there, but instead just choosing to use the ball to escape the finisher. It's a different way of escaping. Most of the time you'll see a headstand, but no. A very clever way.
Vice in the neck. A huge European uppercut.
Taking Darren Burridge back off his feet. Again, it's not really giving him much time to recuperate or to breathe. Follows up with a second.
And returns with one of his own, which the force behind
10 minutes have gone by, 35 minutes remaining the time limit.
Maybe a little bit the impact has been lost on those European uppercuts for McGuinness as well.
Yep.
Right, I got to say right now, Burridge is possibly in the best shape of his career.
Oh, is he winding up for a lariat? He was, but he missed.
He went for the single leg. Sunset flip.
Doesn't get it. Nigel moving in. Again, another sunset flip.
Rocking back and forth.
Shifting weight.
And the first fall after a series of super near
Ladies and gentlemen,
falls.
taking the lead, 1-0, Nigel McGuinness.
And just past the 10-minute mark, McGuinness picks up pinfall number 1.
The worst thing Burridge can do now is go into blind panic. It's only the first fall. He's only one fall behind. There is still just under 35 minutes left in the time limit. Plenty of time for him to be making a difference.
Sporting gesture there from the Ring of Honor champion.
sure both men have the utmost respect for each other, but neither man really wanting to lose this match at all.
Not at all.
For Darren Burridge, the quest for singles gold. The dream has now been realised, and for it to be dashed at such an early stage would be a huge knock to the career of Darren Burridge. And a deserving knock.
McGuiness again vicing the neck. Takes Burridge down. Top wrist lock. Burridge back to his feet. McGuiness just cinching it in. Burridge rolls. Hip toss takedown. Straight into the cover. Maybe trying to catch McGuiness off guard.
Yeah, very clever. Very clever. Well, much like in football, they say the best time to score a goal is just after you've conceded one.
Yeah, if Burridge could pick up a quick pinfall, put things back on a level playing field again. Looking for the knuckle lock. Both men in hard.
By the same token, Nigel cannot simply take his foot off the gas because he's only one fall ahead.
Burridge been driven down to one knee. As far as sort of power to power of both men standing, lariat aside, you'd say they're both pretty even strength-wise.
Yes.
There's not much to call between them. It's just that lariat that McGuiness has perfected over the years, which gives him the edge in the power.
Now going to the ankle, but moving straight back for the arm.
Again.
Driving head.
Yeah, straight right into the back of the arm. Ooh, hammer locked up.
You can hear the impact of the forehead just
driven into the back. Also as well, got to remember that the way Burridge won the Openweight title was with his own submission. The rings are sovereign.
I don't know,
to hook that in on a weakened Nigel McGuinness arm.
I wouldn't know, Dale. I didn't see it. I was knocked out.
Well, I saw it. That's how it was. I was calling it like it was. The rings of sovereign was hooked in, and we saw a new Openweight champion.
After he cheated and used the boat, yeah.
Well, there was a lot of outside shenanigans and tomfoolery going on at the underground too.
Because he kept bringing me in the ring.
As far as I was aware, you get to receive your manager's license, therefore you should technically have been at ringside.
I've got a general manager's license, which roughly equates to being the same thing.
McGuiness into the hammerlock again. Back to a front face lock. McGuiness got caught coming in. Burridge rolls over again into that hammerlock.
McGuiness needs to swallow his pride. If he locks in another submission hold, he's going to do better to tap than risk injury and then lose fall after fall after fall because he's torn a ligament.
15 minutes have gone by, 30 minutes remaining.
Ripped a muscle, damaged a bone. But I know that's not going to happen.
Oh, wow.
Not a clean break there.
Now the first sign of a non-clean break there came from the Ring of Honor champion.
Point of the elbow driven into the chin, maybe the throat there.
Collar and elbow. Straight to the neck.
Vice-like grip of Nigel McGuiness. Probably not as effective as he'd like, one arm being quite a lot weaker than the other one, which is the one that Burridge went to escape.
Single leg, down to the figure four, straight into the neck. The chin lock again. Thing is again though, because Burridge has been working over not one but both of the arms, anything that McGuiness puts in, cinches in, is not going to have the same effectiveness. And just look at that. Hammer locked in and just jumping up and down.
You'll notice the foot was on the rope a long time before Darren Burridge decided to break that.
Well, maybe that was a little receipt, little return for the reverse elbow non-clean break. Burridge is not averse to stretching the rules a little himself.
I've noticed.
It's a nice drop toe hold. Burridge rolling onto to his side, just drilling his heel into the arm, into the elbow region.
He's caught the arm.
Look at that.
He's locked it round with his leg now. Now the pressure's all on McGuiness. He had to release the hold because it held his arm at an unnatural angle.
And now he's just wrapped the other arm around it. Just tying both of the arms up.
He's got to do something.
McGuiness has just backwards rolled, reversed the move, legs are figure forward up. And now he's just trying to bend Burridge in a way that the body does not bend.
This is an absolute masterclass of mat wrestling, Dale.
But Burridge is being twisted.
Watch out, though. His shoulders, he's nearly rolled his own shoulders.
Still got the armbar on.
Still got it, but he's in the ropes. Frustration now setting in.
Both men back to a vertical base. See there, McGuiness just trying to shake it off, just shaking off the several submission attempts, just get that blood flowing back through the arm, get a bit of feeling back.
I have to say that Nigel's probably more familiar and more conditioned for longer matches than Darren Burridge.
But again, that's back down to his trip to Thailand. He was in preparation for this 45-minute match. That was hard into the buckles. Burridge's back just snapped. And now just a boot to the face. Almost I thought was going for a face wash. McGuiness showing a little bit more respect than doing that. Burridge in, bounce off the middle rope, between the legs, blocks the right, blocks the left. Leapfrog, scoots under, looking for the single leg was McGuiness. Quick roll up.
Small package. Oh! Jumps over, puts a little bit more pressure, uses his knees.
Evening the score, making it 1 fall apiece, ladies and gentlemen. Darren Burridge.
Well, really? It was close. McGuiness claiming that was just 2. Not happy.
No, not happy at all.
McGuiness is adamant that was just 2 and he got his shoulder up. But Burridge won't argue, he'll take that.
Oh, he certainly will. For a minute there. The respect has gone out the window.
You were going to say for a minute you didn't think they were going to handshake and they didn't.
Nigel hesitated for a second, decided on it, and then just drills a forearm.
I think that the 2-3 situation we've just had has really wound McGuiness up that double knife chop to the throat.
"20 minutes have gone by, 25 minutes remaining
Both men
on the time limit. It is 1 fall apiece.
And again, double knife chop to the throat. McGuiness in, breaking the count. McGuiness wants to be a double champion. No two ways about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's got to be the most severe running European uppercut I've ever seen. It's cleaned up the entire barrier.
The entire section of guardrail has gone down. One of them nearly decapitated someone in the front row.
McGuiness is stood. Burridge is out. The guardrail has taken a beating.
Wow. Well,
what can you say about that? The guardrail is just literally a section went flying in the air. Burridge crotching McGuiness on the section of the guardrail. Maybe looking for a clothesline of his own.
Oh, he has! Oh no, that guardrail's broken!
Bent the guardrail! And I think that European uppercut by McGuiness is just, all it's done is just pissed Burridge off.
Okay, shopping list. New guard rails.
And now both men on the outside, just delivering forearms to the face until McGuinness has just drilled Burridge's face into the ring post. Again, McGuinness in and out. In and out, breaking the count.
Yeah, you see Nigel McGuinness there. Clever. Asking for the time.
Definitely. He's maybe thinking maybe a bit more punishment before going for the pinfall.
A bit more on the
giving,
outside.
Burridge enough time to maybe mount a comeback and get an equalising fall.
Yeah. Well, whilst on the outside, you cannot incur a pinfall loss.
And I know for a fact that Nigel McGuinness would love to be 1PW Openweight champion. Take that to Ring of Honour.
Well, I mean, not just that. That would be the first recognised title that Nigel McGuinness would ever have won in his home country. Nigel has won many titles, but all have been abroad.
Oh my God, Adam, they're just slapping each other. And now they're just trading shots.
Just palm thrusting. Oh, the discus lariat out of nowhere.
It's the cover.
Nearly.
Just a 2. And that's the first time we've seen McGuinness go to the lariat.
Yes. Well, he attempted it once before in the match. He went for the slingshot one, which was ducked.
Oh, yes, yep. Stand corrected, yes. It's the first time we've seen him hit the lariat.
Yes.
Burridge blocking the
Tower
suplex.
of London?
I think he's trying. Burridge just putting his leg between, just blocking it. I don't think we're going to see a clean break.
No,
I think that.
I would say not.
And there's that reverse elbow again.
This now might be enough. Can we get him into the corner? It might be a suplex. Could be another variation of the lariat. No.
Tower of London coming up. Burridge fighting for all he's worth. Just raining the blows on the chest, trying to break it up, which he has done. Burridge to the top rope.
Taking a little bit too much time to adjust.
He did, yeah, and he's now fast off crotch down. In position.
And there we go.
Drilled straight in, and that could be 2-1. Cover, hooks the leg. 2, 3, it is. 2-1, Nigel McGuinness.
Winning the fall and making the score 2 falls to 1, Nigel McGuinness.
Well, Burridge hasn't moved. Well, he has now because McGuinness has just kicked him in the back.
And we're approaching the 25-minute mark in this match. We've gone over half of the allotted time.
And McGuinness is 2-1 up. 2 falls to 1. If he was to get the third, then I think we're seeing a new openweight champion.
Yes. A 2-fall deficit is a massive mountain to climb. Not just physically, but also psychologically as well.
Straight for the cover.
25 minutes have gone by,
Forearm
20
driven
minutes
across the
remaining
face.
the time limit.
And again, straight in forearm. Just rolling that forearm across the face. Again, a third. Every time he's kicking out, Burridge is
score 2 falls to 1
energy that
in
he really
favour
doesn't
of
have.
the challenger.
And a quick roll up. 2. No! Oh, that was 2.
Hang on.
Well, McGuinness backing off uncharacteristically, but no, sucking him in.
He knew that Burridge was not going to back off. All mind games from Nigel McGuinness.
Just a 2. Bit of a lackadaisical cover there from McGuinness.
Maybe getting a tad frustrated himself, even though he's in the lead.
Maybe he wants to try and put this one to bed now, Adam. Maybe he wants to try and get that third fall. Because as you say, I think a 2-fall deficit at this time, at this far gone in the match, it's going to be hard for a comeback of any sort. Couple of hard knife chops and a headbutt by Burridge. Guinness again. Oh, and that was just square on the nose. European uppercut, followed by a return one for McGuinness. Burridge with one. Oh, the DDT! Oh, a SIG DDT, a snap DDT, which is probably snapped Burridge's neck. In for the cover, hook of the legs. And the foot on the rope was the only thing that kept that from being a 2-fall deficit there, Adam.
You have to wonder whether Burridge actually managed to get his foot on the rope, or whether Nigel was actually turning him to get the pin, and the leg just fell onto the bottom rope.
Okay, McGuiness asking for the time. I think he sees the home straight inside.
Yep. I mean, after a DDT like that, it's surely got to be academical.
Looking for an STO, stand-up STO, but with the arm hammer-locked, dropping onto the arm, so it's not just impact on the back, but the arm, shoulder region as well, which now
Pressure
McGuiness
on the elbow.
delivering the blows to the back of.
Oh, just smashing, just grabbing a palm, throwing the arm into the mat, the point of the elbow connecting with the ring.
And now Burridge just fighting for all he's worth there on the mat. Leg drop onto the arm, just rolling up onto a press-up position.
Interesting move, because this also puts him in a pinning position.
Yeah, that's right. Not only submission, but a pinfall position too. Burridge's shoulders just up. Foot to the ropes again. Means McGuiness is going to have. He's got 5 to break it.
Yeah, and it was a late break. Nigel McGuiness has truly got the driver's seat now.
Burridge maybe looking for a quiet corner just to maybe regroup a little, trying to hide that shoulder away. A European uppercut.
And just a clubbing blow to the back. Darren Burridge just with less and less in the tank with every passing minute.
McGuiness puts Burridge up to a vertical base, and he's just hooked the arm around the top rope. He's got till 5 again to break it, just adding more and more pressure. European uppercut.
Using the middle rope to get extra impact.
Shoulder driven in. And did you see that? McGuiness clearly had to break that arm lock quickly, because I think he could be in trouble.
Using the arm, almost in a Northern Light style suplex there.
Again, looking for the Rings of Sovereign. He's got it hooked in. This is what won him the Openweight title, the Rings of Sovereign. He's been working over the arm region, and now he's just rented back.
And he's tapped.
The same move which won him the Openweight title has evened the match up.
And he's not breaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, winning the fall and evening the score to 2 falls apiece, Darren Burridge!
And look at McGuiness, he's still favouring the arm.
Yep. We surely must be approaching
the pressure from the
here.
Rings of Sovereign, on top of all the work, all the hammer locks, all the wrist locks, all the headbutts driven into the arm. McGuiness is clearly favouring the arm. I think he knew that Burridge was trying to get that manoeuvre in first off, because he quickly snapped the arm away.
And look how the tide has quickly changed. 2 minutes ago, Nigel McGuiness was looking on top of the world, and Darren Burridge was down on the mat, almost looking a lost cause.
And he's just arm-ringing him on the top, rendering that left arm useless.
30 minutes have gone by. 30 minutes. 15 minutes remain of the time limit.
Again, winding the arm up, driving the elbow, and again.
Only a quarter of an hour left though.
And the arm driven into the apron. McGuiness is in some serious trouble.
He is.
That left arm, I think it could take some shaking off.
If he can shake it off. He's trying to avoid any contact that Darren Burridge may have with that arm.
Now he's got the arm bar again. McGuiness had to reach the bottom rope to break the hold.
Again, working back on the arm. Arm ringer into a wrist lock.
Backed into the corner.
Oh, and just yanks him, just beels him over with it.
Again. This is an unbelievably sound strategy from Burridge. Key locked the arm up via the leg. Just trying to, again, hyperextend from the shoulder and elbow.
The chain wrestling and counter holder exchange that we saw in the match have all but disappeared now.
McGuiness trying to edge the shoulders over. And while in intense pain, McGuiness still had it enough about him to try and roll Burridge forward for a pinfall.
Making the best out of a bad situation. McGuiness really might want to think about just giving up here. Concentrating on the last 10 minutes.
But if he is to give up straight away in thinking that he could get another pinfall, if he doesn't, he has lost.
Yeah, but I mean, if on the flip side, if Darren Burridge were to actually break that arm completely,
yeah, and
then that's it.
Burridge with a series of, oh, that was an arm wringer and a half. Just a series of blows to the top and bottom of the muscle, and then a vicious arm wringer.
Yeah, as I was saying, I mean, if Burridge were to break McGuinness's arm, any contact that he would have with McGuinness would result in an instant submission. In fact, he'd probably have to throw the towel in and lose instantly. So maybe swallowing his pride and giving up and living to fight for those last 10 minutes could be the best tactic.
McGuinness on the apron, elbow. Oh my God, he's looking to hip toss Burridge over, which he has done. He's unceremoniously just dumped Burridge on the outside from the hip toss.
It wasn't a full hip toss, he sort of let go as he was just about to come over the ropes, just leaving Burridge to spiral head and body first, bouncing off the apron.
And a suplex to the outside. A sickening thud of Burridge hitting those mats.
And as I said earlier tonight, those mats do not offer much protection.
No, nothing at all.
They're really just here to protect the floor.
Again, the pendulum has swung the other way. Now McGuinness, well, I'm still favouring the arm.
McGuinness now, obviously, he's very happy. He'd be more than happy to attain a count out for here.
Burridge rolls back under, but maybe rolling into a whole world of hurt. And if he rolls it back for this big lariat, there's nothing that Darren Burridge could do. He saw it coming, hook of the legs, 2. He just manages to roll his shoulder up.
The short arm lariat does not prove successful for Nigel this time, but you have to think if you were to take a full running shot at one of those lariats, that at this stage in the match, it would have just devastating effect.
Unless McGuinness realises he hasn't quite got that in him.
Yep.
From the well, a trip while the arm hammer locked and then the arm bar. Oh, and the wrist is bent back. The arm is almost on the other side. Burridge is fighting to get to the bottom rope. There's no way, if he rolls onto his belly.
Oh, he's just made it.
He just has, because if he rolled onto his belly, the only thing that was going to happen there was his arm was going to come out the socket.
You see,
sorry, carry on.
Burridge spent the entire match working on Nigel McGuinness's arm. Nigel originally started the onslaught on the head and neck area, but has switched focus to the arm, despite the fact that none of his favoured moves actually work on the arm. You have to think he's probably going for the arm to stop Burridge from working on Nigel's arm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're dead right. Another big European uppercut, a second, a third, and then one from Burridge, and then again McGuinness. They're just trading European uppercuts.
Please, sir, I'll have another move you see.
No, a back spinning kick from McGuinness into the cover, hooks the leg, 2.
You have to wonder, is he saving that arm for one big lariat?
The springboard lariat.
Yep. Choosing not to go for the shorter discus lariat there, which he has favoured on more than one occasion in this match, and instead going for a rear kick.
Burridge now being dragged to his feet. And here it comes again. He's looking for it. Burridge is ducked underneath. Oh! And a lariat of his own, which has just taken McGuinness off of his feet. The referee now using the 10 count.
But you can tell from that rush, that burst that Darren Burridge just used there, he expended an awful lot of energy doing it, because it looks like the first man to return to his feet will actually be the recipient of the lariat, Nigel McGuiness.
Both men up. Burridge looking for a double leg, but into the backside for McGuiness. Again looking for the single leg. McGuiness round the back, roll up. Hook of the tights.
Yep, sportsmanship's gone out the window.
A hook of the tights. That is how bad Nigel McGuiness wants to be openweight champion. He'd love nothing more than to go back to ROH as a double champion.
Well, yeah, and not just that, this is a rubber match of sorts. Issues between these two non-conclusive, both hold one victory over the other apiece, so pride certainly plays a huge part in this.
Boot to the head. Burridge just popping straight back up. I know, somewhat foolishly, because all he's done is got up into a series of slaps, and they're just slapping each other in the face.
European uppercut, perhaps a lariat, just met with a
kitchen sink.
With a kitchen
block, double elbow, looking for the lariat. Met with one of his own from Burridge. Into the cover. 2, 3.
Had enough effect.
Ladies and gentlemen, scoring the fall, and now making the match 3 falls to 2 in favour of the champion, Darren Burridge.
Wow. How much time's remaining? Good grief. A quick look at the watch here suggests that nearly 39 minutes have passed.
And now, from way behind, Burridge is dug deep and he's in the lead.
Incredible.
McGuiness has seen his lead just evaporate, and now he's one behind. Oh, looking for maybe to slingshot him in, but... Oh!
The small of Darren Burridge's back smacking on the apron. His
neck
throat
was snapped on the top rope. And Burridge is in a real bad way. The marks on his back. And that is
a vicious back elbow from Nigel McGuiness.
Spinning back elbow. I mean, they're the sort of moves that can just dislocate a jaw, just like that.
Yep.
Again, just trading chops. Just beating the crap out of each other. Looking for a suplex. Burridge can float over if he gets 2 falls in front. McGuiness has not got much left in him.
Nope, not at all. Not in the least.
Burridge again looking for the rings of sovereign. And this is what has already got him a pinfall already tonight.
Is he going to tap?
And McGuiness is right in the middle of the ring.
40 minutes of the match has gone by. 40 minutes. 5 minutes remaining the time limit. The score is 3 falls to 2 in favour of Burridge.
Burridge's not got it hooked on. McGuiness, enough ring savvy still in him to realise that he had to get to the ropes. Unceremoniously dragged into the middle of the ring.
And he's locked it back in again.
Back into the rings of sovereign, looking for if he could just hook it in properly.
I think he
will
has
have
now.
no choice. Surely.
Yeah, he's got the arm cinched in.
McGuiness sat up, rolled through.
However,
a pinning combination. Well, both men are looking for a pinfall there. Again, Burridge ringing the arm, taking him down to the arm bar. And
he raised his hands.
This late on in the game, a fundamentally sound armbar will get you a submission. Again, the only way out for McGuiness, the ropes.
McGuiness seems to be holding the ankle now as well.
Winding him up again. Big European uppercut. Oh, looking for the armbar again, trying to get him down. Again, getting for the in the rings. Again, a European uppercut. Straight into the armbar.
It's fundamentally sound strategy. He's just sticking to what has already proven successful, not taking any additional risks, which at this stage in the match would be absolutely crazy.
Burridge has spent the whole 40 minutes working over McGuinness's arms to great effect to put him one fall in front.
The last 2 times that McGuiness has been stood, he's actually been stood only on the heel of the right foot. I don't even know if Darren Burridge has noticed.
Series of quick falls.
He keeps
looking
holding
for the
that
chav lock. A modified version of the chav lock. McGuinness again rolling through straight to the ropes.
He's holding that foot again.
McGuinness favouring the ankle, the arm.
2 minutes remaining at the time limit. 2 minutes.
Both men down.
It is 3 falls to 2 in favour of
McGuiness up.
Darren
That's
Burridge.
That's it. Whatever's left in their collective tanks, they must both now use. They must unleash everything they've got.
McGuinness setting up for that big lariat from the top.
Who wants this more?
Look at McGuinness, though, he can't.
He can't get up. It's
No.
the ankle.
Ducked it. And a lariat to the back. Oh! Sick lariat. For all the work that Burridge has done, he still delivered the lariat. Look at the leg, 2, 3.
Evening the score, it is now 3 falls each.
3
That
apiece.
ball goes to Nigel McGuiness.
I've got it at just over a minute.
McGuiness up, sort of. Just hobbling. Burridge on his back. Again, the momentum has swung back into Nigel McGuinness' favour. Burridge looks like he's being set up again. Oh, roll up. 1, 2, 3.
He's got it! He's got it!
He's countered.
Winning the fall, Darren Burridge. It is now 4 falls to 3 with 1 minute remaining the time limit. 1 minute.
This is crazy.
He's going for the Tower of London. Burridge just rolled through, and now Burridge
You must be kidding.
Lariat from hell! No! And he's kicked out!
30 seconds remaining the time limit. 30 seconds.
Oh, there's another one! Look at the legs!
No! He's kicked out on 1!
Holy shit!
20 seconds remaining the time limit. 20 seconds.
Oh, this. Both men now just giving everything they've got.
Oh, nice just folded. Burridge is 2!
And he's got
A
it!
3 count! Was in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 45-minute tournament has expired. The score after 45 minutes. Darren Burridge 4, Nigel McGuiness 4. This match is a draw.
Wow. Both men have given it their all. They've put their bodies on the line. They have taken punishment like which we've never seen before in a straight matchup.
I'm frankly speechless though.
Unbelievable. It's matches like that, Adam, that make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
They make me proud to be associated with the great sport of professional wrestling.
Unbelievable. As we see Nigel McGuiness hobbling in front of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the result of this match: 4 falls to Nigel McGuiness, 4 falls to Darren Burridge, who remains the 1PW Openweight champion.
Well, Burridge retains, possibly not in the manner that he wanted to, but after 45 minutes of sheer hell, both of these guys are champions.
And there isn't a fan in this building sat down.
No. There's true respect there.
For 45 of the finest minutes I've not just seen in a 1PW ring, but just in a wrestling ring, full stop.
And even you, Adam, it's like one of the few times you agree with the fans in attendance tonight.
Yeah.
That really was
The smartest thing they've said to them.
wrestling. Wow.
If Darren Burridge could just toe the company line.
How the hell both men have stood standing is beyond me. Wow. The ultimate show of respect from 2 warriors of the ring who have just given it their all.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Ring of Honor champion Nigel McGuiness and the 1PW Openweight champion Darren Burridge.
That was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Just a stunning display of professional wrestling. Much as it pains me to admit.
Well, I've got to agree with you there, and that's possibly the best 45 minutes of pure wrestling that I've ever seen in my 31 years on this planet.
If it didn't pain me so much, I would actually applaud him.
Unbelievable. Our openweight champion, Darren Burridge.